Hi and welcome to 6.1. This whole new unit is about wages, but this particular one is about gross pay. And just a reminder of how things work. This is the notes section, and if you use your QR code or type in that bit.ly, you can see these things already answered in. The first page is something that usually we do in class, and we talk about your first part-time job. So some of you may be just preparing to get their first job, maybe at the end of this year, or maybe some of you already have a bit of a job. So I want you to think about your first part-time job that you would love to have. So your answers might vary. So you can say, just answer these questions. Where would this job be? Ideally, how many hours a week would you like to work? What would your hourly wage be? Now, don't put like $1 million per hour. Try to be kind of realistic, because we want to get a sense of what it's actually going to be like and how much money you're going to be making. And in this job, what would you be doing? What would be your responsibilities? And then how long do you think you'd be like to be working there? So for example, some of you might say, hey, I'd love to get a job over at Safeway down the street, maybe part-time because I'm in school, and so I might want to work 2 evenings a week, 4 hours each time. So someone might say, hey, I'd love to get a job over at Safeway. And this is just my example I'm making up. You can put your example. How many hours a week? So maybe 8 hours a week. 8 hours every week. Hourly wage, well, maybe about $12 an hour. $12 every hour. What would your responsibilities be? Maybe a checkout, and maybe stocking the shelves. Stocking shelves. There's my messy writing. How long do you expect to keep this job? Oh, maybe during high school. Maybe you could work there until you graduate, maybe each of the winters. How did you get this job? Well, applied, maybe in person, maybe online, maybe you had to get some references. So fill out that first page however you'd like. For that second page, it talks about getting paid. So there's two different main ways when we describe the money that we get from work. The first one, it says something for jobs that pay by the hour or hourly wage. Those are things that we call wages. So some people get wages, and that's when you get paid something by the hour. So that example from Safeway where I said $12 every hour, that would be an hourly wage, so that would be a wage. Other people, instead of wages, get salaries. So those are jobs that have a set annual pay or sometimes a set monthly pay. So an example of an hourly wage jobs, there's lots of people that work hourly wage. So I would say, a store clerk. That was my earlier example. In the school, our educational or assistants at school. They get paid by the hour. Maybe if you're hired on a construction site. Lots of different examples. Examples of salary jobs. Well, one example would be me. So I get paid not by the hour, but I get paid, there's a contract and says this is how much you're going to get in a year. And they divide that up by 12 and they give me that amount per month. So in a given month, they don't count how many hours I worked in the month of May. They say, oh, well, that's 1/12 of your annual salary. Maybe somebody else like an accountant. Although they all vary. So your first part-time job will likely be paid minimum wage. It says currently in Manitoba, the minimum wage for every hour is, so I'm recording this video in 2020, and currently the minimum wage is $11.65 every hour. So you might want to check if this, if you're watching this video and it's a little bit later than that, you could just do a quick little check and say minimum wage in Manitoba, or if you're at a different place, you could check that out too. Okay, a couple other definitions. A gross pay. Gross doesn't mean ugly or gross. Gross in this case means the amount that you're going to get paid before deductions. So if you get $11.65 every hour and you work 10 hours and you did the math and you said, oh, $11.65 times 10 is $116.50, and then you get some amount deposited in your bank account and you look and it is less than that, don't be too upset, because calculating your gross pay isn't the same as the amount that you're going to be able to take home. So how does that work? Well, the gross pay minus the deductions equals the net pay. And the net pay here is, I guess I could say, how much is going to be on your check or how much is going to be deposited. Money, how about this? Money you get. So we like the net pay. So gross pay good, deductions unfortunate, reduce the amount of money that you get to take home. Let's take a look at the next page. And every place that every employer is going to have different types of pay statements. So I just took one example pay statement, and let's take a look at this and see if we can figure a few things out. So in fact, you know what, if you could do is go through 1 to 8 and see if you can answer those on your own, and then I'll go through and reveal what the answers are and we'll talk about that. So I think it is actually helpful to sort of hunt around this pay statement and see if you can figure it out, and then come back and I'll reveal the answers. So hit pause now and see if you can fill those things out. Okay, here comes the big reveal. Okay, so here are the answers. You can check them over. The first one said, what is this person's hourly wage? And the place to find that out, the hourly wage, would be here where it says regular pay 25. So that would be the rate, $25 per hour. The second thing is, how often do they get paid? And the answer is bi-weekly, or every 2 weeks. It's a little bit hard to find that one, so how often they get paid. So what you have to do is look at over to the right here. I'm having some trouble moving this thing. Oh, there we go. Where it says pay period. So the pay period start date, and so if you look at this, 14/09/2013. So what that really means is it's a day, month, year. So that would be September 14th to, and the second one here, September 28th. So from 14 to 28, that's 2 weeks. So that's one clue. And the other one is actually, it does say right here, it says pay period by dash. So that means that this check covers what the person earned from September 14th to September 28th, which is 2 weeks, and it also does say a pay period bi-weekly. The next question, so for number 3, it said, how many hours did they work during this pay period? How many hours did they work? Current hours. So if you look right here, it says 80. So that would be where that answer comes from. And the next question was, what is their gross pay? Current period. So that means for this paycheck, they're making $2,000. Then it says, what is their total deductions? So total deductions. Well, here's a list of some of their deductions over there, but where would the total deductions be? Oh, over here it is, under total deductions. So there's two numbers. I had a little glitch there. I hope everything's okay. So when I look at total deductions, there's two numbers. There's that 616.49, and then there's that 12,647. So what you got to realize is that there's one for current period at the top, and then there's one for year YT amount, so that's the year to date amount. So the total deductions for this pay period is that $616.49. If we look at for their net pay, that 2 weeks. So no, they're not making $29,000 for those 2 weeks. YTD, like I mentioned, is year to date. How is the gross pay calculated? It's hourly wage. Oh, here, I'll go down so you can see it here. So my answers one more time. I'm getting kind of sluggish here. So the answers for this one at the end says, how is gross pay calculated? So it's the hourly wage, which in this case is $25 every hour, times the number of hours that they worked, which is 80 hours, so that's $2,000. Okay, so I'm going to stop this video now just to keep them short. And so if you want to continue and look at the examples, then check out the, I guess it would be 6.1b video. All right, see you later.